All right, we're going to go into Google My Business listing. What is it? How do you claim it? And what do you do once you have?
Okay.
So, what is it?
Google My Business is the free listing that you get when you search for any business on Google. So it typically appears in the right-hand bar, and very often it is a picture with hours, a phone number, an email, a contact, a button, click a website. But the important thing is every single one of these is completely claimable. So any business on the planet that has a physical address and a phone number usually will be eligible for Google My Business account. And this is one of the easiest pieces of free marketing that any business can do. And every business should own their Google My Business account, no exceptions.
Yeah. So say you start your new business, you have your physical address, you can get mail to it. What are next steps? How would you go about claiming it? How do you even find it?
So the Google My Business is one of the most underutilized pieces of free marketing available out there. So this is Google's verification of all of your information. So what happens most of the time is you go and you look at your local ice cream shop or your local mom and pop restaurant, and you go to Google and you look at it and it's got some crappy photos on it that are all user submitted. It's got hours that are outdated, or God forbid the business is closed and it's moved somewhere else, which we see all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because the business owner themselves hasn't taken the time to claim and update this information because they either don't know it exists or they don't know how to do it. On every single Google business listing, when you click on it, it says, are you the owner of this business? It's in the bottom left-hand corner. You scroll down to that, you click that button, and one of two things will happen. Either it will ask you to verify, which you sign up for a postcard and they mail it to you. It's a code. It takes about 2 weeks. You enter the code and now you own the listing. That's how Google verifies that you are the legitimate owner of this business. Or it'll say this listing has already been claimed, and it will be claimed by GA *** at ***.com. And if you know that email, if it's one of your emails or one of your employees has claimed it, you can get added as a manager, an owner, or an editor of Google My Business. And having this just gives you direct control over what Google thinks it knows about your business. So if you're open at 9:00 on Mondays, you put that you're open on 9:00 on Mondays, and now all your people know that you're open on 9:00 on Mondays.
Okay, so you found out that you need one. You went and claimed it, whether it be through the email or you were able to just own it. So now what?
I can't reiterate this enough. You need one.
Yeah.
If you have a business that has a physical location, you need one.
You can get mail. You need it.
It doesn't matter if you don't do any marketing. It doesn't matter if you don't have a website. Nothing matters until you claim this Google listing. You do not exist in the world of Google without claiming this listing. Now, it's important to know that these are other places. There are tons and tons of listing directories, but Google is the biggest.
Oh, yeah.
So once you have this listing, this is one of those like pieces of advice that we get to give that it's like, do we have to say this out loud?
Like, do you have it? No.
It seems so obvious.
Why not?
But no one does it. So first off, claim your Google listing. Second off, populate every single field that you can possibly answer on every single thing, no exceptions. It'll say, are you GLBT friendly? You know what? It's fine. If you're not, just click the box. If you are, click the box that says you are. Do not leave anything blank. Do you have street parking? Do you have a parking lot available? Is the parking lot free? Do you have Wi-Fi? Are you open on Memorial Day? Doesn't matter. Fill everything in. Then you can submit photos of your logo, your storefront, the inside of your store. If you're a restaurant, you can submit photos of your menu or your order board, like behind your register. You should control these photos, because what you don't realize is if you don't do it, one of the users is going to do it for you, and they're not going to do it well.
With their flip phone, post a picture of the inside of your restaurant.
Yeah, with some fat slob, with mustard all over them. It's not going to cast you in the best light. And so the thing is, we talk about personal branding a lot at our company, and personal branding and Google My Business are very much the same thing. You don't leave it to chance. If you have a personal brand and there's something about you on the internet, wouldn't you rather be able to control what it says and put your best light forward, your best foot forward? If there's a photo of me picking my nose on the internet, yeah, that's a photo of me. But I probably don't want that to be the first thing that every one of my clients sees when they Google my business. Just like you don't want, dirty unbussed tables or your menu that
Or
has
even the wrong
stains on it,
menu.
or an old menu.
Yeah.
Or you've seen this one too, is like, here's our menu, but like one of your waitresses went through and crossed out with pen and wrote like, no apple pie today. Sorry. That's not your best foot forward. So go claim that listing. So if you're a roofing company, if you're a home services company, this is your opportunity to show that you're a legitimate, professional, well-groomed person with a good office, good staff, fully wrapped trucks, nice signage, good branding, a warranty. You can put anything you want in those photos. Show the customer that stuff. And I feel like business owners want to like play things really close to their vest.
Yeah.
But if you don't put it out, you don't control it. And so if you put pictures of your menu or your pricing or your sell sheets or whatever it is out there, and then later you don't like it, you can go in and delete it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the business owner and Gabby's a customer and Gabby puts a picture of my menu, I can't delete it. I have to request it be removed.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a nightmare situation. Reviews, comments, things like that. Anything that you leave chance, you don't know what's going to happen and you risk something not ideal happening. Fill out your Google profile, absolutely every piece of it.
Yep. And I think just another thing is it answers the questions that people are already asking. They're looking at your listing, are they open today? Well, if everything's filled out, then you have answers to so many questions before the customer even picks up the phone and is able to click the phone call button. And what if it's the wrong number? Just the tiniest details like that. Just have all the answers that your customers are asking on your Google My Business listing. That way they can go ahead and call you with confidence. They're open. They have the pricing I want. They have the products I want.
So critical errors, right? Number one is not having a listing. Number two is not filling out information from your listing or leaving things blank. Number three is letting someone from your staff be the sole owner or account manager of that listing.
We've seen that
with,
a lot.
with let's say their secondary email, and then the girl who's the front counter person
at yahoo.com
has that email deleted or lost access to it, and then 6 months later all your stuff is wrong and nobody's letting you know because they have no way to communicate with you. If you're the owner, so there's designations, there's owner, editor, and like manager, let's say. The owner should be the owner of the business. If you don't own the company, that shouldn't be you. Somebody who is eminently trusted should be at that level. Everybody else should be at the manager editor level, depending on what access they need. And the one primary email of the owner should be the email that actually comes to you. Because here's a couple things that are done that are nefarious in this world.
Mm-hmm.
You can go into your competitor's Google listing and suggest changes. And anyone can do this at any time. And so I can say, that's not their website anymore. Their website is actually this. If Google thinks that is the correct answer, they could switch it. If you're closed on a Tuesday at 3:00, but you're usually not, somebody can submit the picture of the thing that says this week we're closed on Tuesday, and Google will change your hours. If your email is in there, you're going to get a notification. Mm-hmm. You're going to have the ability to deny that request for change. And so this can be done innocently by customers where they're just dumb. They just don't know, or they're unclear. Or it can actually be done nefariously by your competition, who is suggesting actively that your listing category is not your listing category. We've actually seen this happen.
Trying to bump you out of your category.
If you're a roofer and your specialty is roofing, and somebody suggests your category should actually be home services, it will bump you down the list when somebody's searching for the term roofer. That is not ideal. And in a major market, if you're not paying attention to that, you're going to lose leads. You're going to lose business. Click to chat. Phone calls, if you don't have these turned on, you should have them turned on. And if you do have them turned on, for the love of God, please respond to them. Please make sure they're answered and responded. If you get spam, you should be responding to every comment every single time. You should respond to every good review. You should respond to every bad review. You should respond to every photo you're tagged in, every single one. And keep in mind that the conversation you're having isn't Gabby submits a photo that I don't like, and I say, hey, that photo sucks. You're a jerk. Don't submit photos of this in my business. I'm not talking to Gabby. I'm talking to everyone who's reading my comment to Gabby. So my comment would go something like this. Gabby, thank you so much for the submission of your photo. I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. That photo does not cast our business in the best of light, and that's not how we do business. We take pride on taking great care of our restaurant or our roofing company, whatever it is. We take great care of providing top-level service. This doesn't speak for us. What I'd like to do, the next thing, take conversation offline.
Yes.
I'd love to have a conversation with you directly to see how I could solve this problem and help make sure it doesn't happen to anybody in the future. Would it be okay if I reach out to you by phone, or can I give you my direct line? Here it is. Please call me. And the strategy there is, if Gabby's a crazy person, which happens all the time, or Gabby's really angry at you, whether she's justified or not, you don't want this series of comments running down your profile of
like watching Facebook drama. That does not need to be there. If you get a bad review, take it off.
Take it offline.
Take it offline, have a private conversation, and you responding within a gentle, level-headed manner is also going to show all of your customers reading all the good reviews, like, oh, here's a bad one. This person was unhappy, and they handled it really well.
So, Gabby, you deal with this all the time. The other thing that people don't understand is you don't just put this information in and leave it alone.
No.
Like
no.
3 to 5 years, I'll check it again. Like, is that a good idea?
Absolutely not.
So what should you
Constantly
do?
updating photos, constantly updating posts. I feel like everyone doesn't know that you can make posts on Google. So updating posts with specials, events, if someone new gets hired,
You can do offers, sales.
yeah, offers, sales, products, product prices, and have it all just show up on your Google My Business
And
listing.
even if you're just going in and updating information, even if you're just going in and adding one new photo, Google's paying attention to how often you touch that listing. And the thought process behind this is, if Gabby gets into her listing every single week, 52 weeks a year, and edits something, maybe something trivial. She adds a special, she adds a post, she puts a new picture up, she changes the wording, she changes the order, anything, doesn't matter. What do you think Google thinks about the accuracy of that listing compared to somebody who hasn't updated in 2 years? So if Google's looking for, I have a customer who's looking for a business like Gabby's, one of them has all of the right information, but hasn't touched it in 2 years, and we're not sure how accurate it is. And Gabby has a business that is completely filled out profile. Everything's up to date. She has all her store hours. She's been posting every single week, 52 weeks a year. She's been changing something, just a tweak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just logging in and messing with the account in some way. That is going to give her favorable search results. And nobody knows what the magic formula is, but I can tell you for sure, if she's in it every single week and you're in it never, the likelihood that she's going to outrank you is extremely high.
Yep.
Google
Google likes fresh content.
Google likes fresh content. You have to remember too that Google doesn't care about you. And I don't want that to sound like crass or mean, but Google's only job is to answer the searcher's question in the most efficient manner.
Yep.
And if your business says, hey, we're a roofing company, we do the thing, roof repair, that you need right now that you're specifically searching for. Recency, so it's been updated 52 times and it was updated yesterday, and you're geographically, physically closest to my position when I search, you have all of the boxes checked to be the most likely to rise to the top of that list. If you're far away and you haven't edited it in months and all of your information is incorrect and it's not consistent, then you're all over the map. And Google is going to say, I don't know if I send this customer to Gabby's listing, if the information is good. And if the information isn't good, that searcher might go somewhere else the next time they search. Google will not let that happen under any circumstances. It's always putting out the best information.
Yep.
No exceptions.
Yeah. And Google's indexing every single site on the internet constantly. And if your name, address, and phone number is inconsistent. NAP. Yep, that's a term that you definitely should know. Name, address, phone number. If that's inconsistent anywhere, Google's going to know, and it's not going to confidently send your listing to your customers.
So let's actually talk about that. So in the world of local listings specifically, and this is true across the board, but specifically with local listings, it's so important. There's a phrase called signal to noise that I just fell in love with because it's the best explanation I have ever found of this. If Google is looking and scraping data from all of these different places. So Facebook, Foursquare, Twitter, Yelp, every place that you have a listing. So this is like the weird ones like Yellow Pages or the Chamber of Commerce. And what you have is you have this original signal out of all of the different name, address, phone numbers across all of those. And Google comes out and there are signal to noise. These overlay perfectly, right? Every name, address, phone number on every one of those is exactly correct. Google comes back with a really high degree of confidence and said, this is Gabby's phone number. This is Gabby's address. This is Gabby's name, exactly how it should appear. And I mean every comma, every period, everything.
Yes.
Exactly 100% the same on every listing you can make it list on. No exceptions.
Yep.
If Google comes back with perfect certainty that that's the case, your signal to noise is strong. If Google goes out to all of the different places that your business exists, and they're all different. One of them is 205 E period Park. And then one of them is 205 East Park. And then one of them is 205 E Park Suite 1. You have signal to noise problems. And Google is like,
I don't know.
I think this is her address, but my confidence level is low. So instead, here's Gabby's competitor. Let's go there instead.
Yep.
If you don't have that stuff consistent, it is the first thing you should do. Start with Google, look at Google, Yahoo, Bing, and then again, Yelp, all the other ones, Facebook, list them as many places as humanly possible and get them consistent. We offer this as a free check. So if anybody doesn't know what they look like, send us your information. We'd be happy to run it for free. We don't charge anything. We're not trying to sell you crap. We'll send you back a listing of every place your name, address, and phone number appear on the internet.
And where it's inconsistent.
And where it's inconsistent.
Incorrect.
How filled out are they? How claimed are they?
Yeah.
Those are just so many of the simple basics. When I started this company, the thing that I loved is helping small businesses get off the ground. Now that we've been in business for a long time, one of the things that I realize is that there's a certain level of business that we just can't help. Financially speaking, it does not make sense for a little tiny mom and pop shop to spend a bunch of money with an agency. We understand that, but I'm not okay with those mom and pop shops not having access to that help. So we will give you as many of the tools to fix this yourself as humanly possible. If you've got a marketing budget, you can afford an agency, great. But if you don't, we're going to share the simple things that you can do to solve these problems on your own all the time. And you should absolutely be doing it.
Yeah. So to recap, if you do not have your Google My Business listing claimed, go claim it immediately and try your best to get it if someone else has it.
Yes.
If you have it, have access to it, fill it out to the best of your ability. Make sure if you're the owner of your business, you have to have your email in there, have a backup email, have your phone as a recovery. Do not lose that listing for anything.
Yes, especially if it's contested in any way.
Yeah. And then
Now,
take a nap. Name, address, phone number. Make sure that is consistent everywhere you can possibly make it.
And so, next steps from here, if you have those things covered and you've got the basics at least down, you want to take that same strategy and apply it across every single place you possibly can. There is no excuse for you not to have a social media listing claim for your business. There's no excuse for you not to have your Yelp listing claim for your business, your Yahoo, your Bing. Doesn't matter. Go figure out how to do it. Make sure those listings are correct. And if you can afford it, pay someone to do it correctly and make sure they're fully filled out. They can be a pain in the ass to manage when you get past Google. Google makes it pretty user-friendly, but when you get into the other ones, they're always trying to sell you something. That doesn't mean you shouldn't claim them. It just means that you should be careful when you claim them about how much junk you're willing to pay for. If you can claim a basic listing, populate it with your NAP, name, address, phone number. Website is another great one to add to that. If you can get the basic information out there as much as possible, it's now indexable, it's now searchable, and now you're showing up even if you don't have a website. That covers one of the most important marketing bases of the digital world I could possibly think of. You need local listings. You need Google My Business claimed, Google Places it's actually called sometimes. Get that claimed, lock it down, fill everything in, make sure it's consistent across every platform. And please, for the love of God, if you're stuck, reach out and ask for help to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
How do you want to sign it off? What's their homework?
Take a nap. Go claim your Google My Business listing.
Google yourself. Google your business.
Google yourself.
Look at the results, look at your competitors' results, and look at the image categories, like the actual search results, the Google listing report results, and then the image results. Go do that right now. And if you've got a question, drop it in the comments. We'd be happy to answer them. Thanks.